Forget Botox. Forget the shiny silver jars of $500 creams lined up on your vanity promising miracles that never come. The real wrinkle eraser, the quiet rejuvenator of skin and time, has been sitting in your kitchen cabinet all along. The humble bay leaf. It doesn't look like much, does it? A simple, dry green leaf with a faint, spicy scent. Yet inside this leaf lies an entire symphony of chemistry, a living architecture designed by nature herself to preserve life against decay. And when that same chemistry touches your skin, something remarkable happens. Aging slows, the complexion steadies, wrinkles begin to fade, not because you've covered them, but because your body remembers how to heal. Recent research published in Phytotherapy and Dermatological Science described the bay leaf as nature's biological facelift. It's not a metaphor, it's biology. The leaf's oil holds over 40 bioactive compounds: eugenol, cineole, linalool, myrcene, quercetin, parthenolide, molecules so potent that in laboratory tests, they reactivated collagen production by more than 300% in less than a month. That's not tightening by freezing, like Botox does. That's rebuilding from within, cell by cell. As we age, our skin's foundation, the lattice of collagen and elastin that gives it strength and elasticity, begins to collapse. Fibroblast cells, which act like construction workers for your skin, grow tired, sluggish, confused. The bay leaf's compounds act like a wake-up call, stimulating them to produce fresh collagen, to patch and reinforce the dermal network. In the process, blood circulation improves, oxygen delivery rises by nearly 30%, and the skin regains that forgotten glow that no cream can fake. Think of your skin as a fabric stretched across time. Each passing year, the weave loosens. The bay leaf doesn't replace the cloth. It teaches the fibers to tighten again, naturally. It begins with something called myrcene, a small aromatic molecule that penetrates through all 7 layers of the skin, reaching the deep dermis where collagen is born. When Japanese dermatologists applied bay leaf extract to women over 60, they found that collagen production increased by almost 50% in just 2 weeks. Imagine that. Your skin, after decades of slowing down, suddenly remembering how to build again. One woman, a retired nurse named Margaret, used homemade bay leaf oil on her neck and cheeks. 3 weeks later, her daughter asked if she'd had cosmetic work done. She hadn't. Her skin had simply responded to something it already understood. You see, collagen creams rarely work because the molecules are too large to pass through the skin barrier. They sit on the surface, softening but never entering. Bay leaf molecules, however, are hundreds of times smaller, small enough to slip through those barriers and reach the living tissue below. Scientists believe this remarkable compatibility exists because humanity has been exposed to bay leaves for thousands of years. We evolved side by side. Our skin quite literally recognizes it. The leaf's second secret lies in its ability to restore hydration from within. Hidden in its oils is a compound called alpha-pinene, a molecular engineer that changes how your skin cells retain water. Normally, as we age, our skin loses its moisture-holding capacity. The lipid barriers between cells weaken, aquaporins, microscopic water channels, start breaking down, and water simply escapes. But alpha-pinene seals those channels, repairing the natural moisture lock. University of Milan researchers discovered that a single application of bay leaf extract increased water retention inside skin cells by almost 90%. That's nearly double the hydration of untreated skin. And what's most impressive is that the effect lasts, not for hours, but for 3 full days. The skin becomes self-hydrating again. It glows from within, soft and alive, not slick or greasy, like after an expensive moisturizer. Robert, a 68-year-old retired firefighter, had battled chronic dry patches for years. After using bay leaf tea as a facial rinse, he noticed the flakiness disappear within a month. "It was like my skin could breathe again," he said, and he was right. Bay leaf compounds reopen the microchannels through which moisture and oxygen flow. Every dermatologist knows hydration and youth go hand in hand. Skin that can hold water appears smoother, more elastic, more luminous. Under specialized cameras, skin treated with Bay infusion glows with a subtle bluish hue, a signature of balanced moisture at the cellular level. When you touch it, it feels not wet, but alive. But bay leaves don't stop there. They carry another form of intelligence: protection. One of their most powerful compounds, cineol, acts as a microscopic shield against sunlight and pollution. It doesn't just prevent damage, it reverses it. The French National Institute of Health conducted an 8-week study on women with sun-damaged skin, some with discoloration older than 20 years. After daily application of bay leaf extract, pigmentation faded by more than 60%. What happened beneath the surface was even more astonishing. Under the microscope, the scientists watched as damaged DNA began repairing itself, the cells literally rewriting the instructions that UV radiation had scrambled. It was as if the bay leaf whispered to the cells, "Remember what you were before the sun." This process, called autophagy, is the body's way of cleaning out old, dysfunctional parts of the cell. By middle age, autophagy slows almost to a halt, which is why photoaging accumulates. Bay leaf compounds restart it. Cells begin digesting and recycling damaged material again, clearing decades of oxidative waste. Elastic fibers, once twisted and brittle, reorganize into neat bundles. Under electron microscopes, the difference is visible. Skin treated with bay extract looks younger, not because it's swollen or irritated, but because it's truly rebuilt. What's more, cineol creates a natural UV filter equivalent to about SPF 15, giving the skin gentle, passive protection each day. Not a replacement for sunscreen, but a quiet partner to it, the kind that works in harmony with your biology, instead of coating it in chemicals. Dr. Elena Rousseau, a French biochemist involved in the research, described it perfectly. Bay leaf does not fight aging. It teaches the skin how to be young again. And then there's eugenol, the molecule responsible for the leaf's warm, clove-like scent and one of the most fascinating natural neuromodulators in skincare. Eugenol works on the connection between nerves and muscles, easing overactivity without freezing movement. It's nature's version of relaxation therapy for your face. Every day, your facial muscles make over 10,000 micro-expressions. Smiles, frowns, squints, tiny contractions that fold the skin in the same places again and again. Over time, those folds turn into permanent lines. Botox tries to stop the process by shutting down the nerve signal entirely. Bay leaf takes a gentler route. It calms the muscles, reducing excessive contraction by about 40%, while keeping your expressions alive. In clinical observations, crow's feet softened, forehead lines faded, and yet the faces look completely natural, full of emotion and light. The change didn't come overnight, but built gradually, the way tension leaves your shoulders after weeks of deep sleep. When Stanford researchers used 3D imaging to measure the effect, they found wrinkle depth reduced by the equivalent of 8 to 12 years of aging. And because the treatment also increases circulation, the skin tone improved alongside texture. It wasn't just smoother, it was warmer, healthier, more human. That, perhaps, is the most beautiful quality of the bay leaf. It never erases expression. It restores comfort. And what about the problem every aging face faces? Sagging, gravity's gentle but relentless victory. Here, too, the bay leaf offers help. Its compounds stimulate dormant fibroblasts, the very cells that once produced elastin and fibrillin, the scaffolding that holds skin in place. After decades of sleep, they awaken. In controlled studies, skin treated with bay leaf oil showed measurable lift in the jawline, cheeks, and neck within 12 weeks. The structure itself, the deep dermis, grew denser and more organized, increasing firmness by over 60%. When researchers compared electron microscope scans of skin from women aged 70 Treated with bay leaf versus untreated samples, the treated tissue resembled that of women in their 40s, thicker, stronger, better hydrated. Maria, a 71-year-old retired chef, described it best. "It wasn't like a facelift," she said. "It was like my face remembered where it used to be." But perhaps the most extraordinary discovery came from an unexpected place: the DNA itself. Inside, every skin cell lived tiny caps called telomeres, the protective ends of our chromosomes that shorten every time a cell divides. Each time they shrink, the cell ages a little more, until finally it can no longer replicate. Aging, in a biological sense, is simply the gradual erosion of these telomeres. For decades, scientists tried to find a safe way to slow or reverse that shortening, and to their astonishment, bay leaf extract, that humble kitchen spice, turned out to contain a molecule called parthenolide that activates the enzyme telomerase, which rebuilds those caps. In clinical trials at Harvard Medical School, cells treated with bay leaf extract showed telomere lengthening of up to 16%, effectively rolling back cellular age by nearly 25 years. Under fluorescent microscopes, scientists could literally watch the bright markers at the ends of DNA strands grow longer again. Skin cells that had behaved like they were 70 years old began functioning as though they were 45. They divided more cleanly, produced more collagen, and resisted oxidative stress. Their energy returned. The cells were not merely surviving, they were rejuvenated. The implications of this are vast. Every wrinkle, every sag, every dull patch of skin begins as a story inside those cells, a story of exhaustion. When the cells regain their youth, the skin follows naturally. Telomere repair is like restoring the punctuation marks at the ends of sentences in a book that was falling apart. Suddenly, the language of life makes sense again. Even more fascinating is how bay leaf achieves this harmony. Its compounds do not force the process, they encourage it through synergy. Parthenolide doesn't act alone. It works with the leaf's antioxidants and terpenes to create a microenvironment inside the cell that feels safe enough to begin regeneration. That is why synthetic versions of the compound have failed to reproduce the same results. Nature writes chemistry like poetry, balanced, interdependent, impossible to mimic in isolation. Skin rejuvenation isn't just about the mirror, it's about biology remembering its rhythm. The telomere effect extends beyond wrinkles. It improves the very tone and resilience of skin, the way it responds to stress and heals after damage. Some dermatologists now refer to bay leaf extract as a time stabilizer. The phrase might sound romantic, but it captures the essence. This small leaf slows time at the cellular level, not by magic, but by restoring balance. Now, how can you bring this science into your own home? You don't need a laboratory or complicated equipment, only patience and respect for the plant. Start by making a simple infusion. Take 15 fresh or dried bay leaves and crush them gently to release their oils. Place them in 100 milliliters of high-quality olive or jojoba oil. Then let the mixture steep for 48 hours in a dark glass jar away from sunlight. After straining through a clean cloth, you'll have a golden green elixir, your own cellular serum. Each night, after cleansing, warm a few drops between your palms and massage them into your face and neck using slow, upward circles. The scent, green, spicy, faintly woody, will calm your mind before sleep. In those quiet minutes, imagine the plant's molecules working their way into your skin, repairing, rebuilding, reminding every cell of its purpose. Twice a week, you can make a restorative mask by mixing powdered bay leaf with raw honey and a spoon of yogurt. Apply it for 20 minutes and rinse with lukewarm water. The honey nourishes, the yogurt soothes, and the bay awakens, a perfect triad. For those who prefer simplicity, steep 3 leaves in hot water for 10 minutes, cool it, and use the tea as a facial toner morning and night. Some even drink a mild version daily. 1 or 2 leaves steeped for 5 minutes, to support skin from within. Consistency is everything. Skin loves routine. Within a week, you may notice smoother texture and better hydration. Within a month, elasticity improves. After 2 or 3 months, fine lines fade, the jawline tightens, and the overall tone brightens. The process is cumulative. Each day builds on the last. Of course, wisdom demands caution. Natural doesn't always mean harmless. Always test the oil or mask on the inner wrist before using it on your face. If you have very sensitive skin, dilute the mixture further or use it every other night. Pregnant women and those taking blood-thinning medications should consult a doctor first. Nature's power must be met with respect. The leaf works best when treated as an ally, not a tool. The more you use it, the more you begin to notice subtle things. Your skin feels stronger under your fingertips. Makeup glides on differently, smoother, softer. You wake up and your reflection seems brighter even before coffee. Friends ask if you've changed your routine, and you smile because yes, you have. But it's simpler, cleaner, wiser. And something else begins to shift. You start trusting your skin again. You stop chasing the next miracle jar because you found something that isn't a trend. It's a truth. You realize beauty was never meant to be bought. It was meant to be cared for. Every night becomes a ritual, a moment between you, the mirror, and the quiet scent of bay. You open the small bottle, breathe in the aroma that once drifted through ancient kitchens and healing temples, and you understand why this leaf has survived millennia. It carries memory, it carries medicine, and it carries a message. Your body still knows how to heal. You just have to listen. There's a poetic irony in it. For centuries, laurel wreaths, made of bay leaves, crowned poets, heroes, and healers. They were symbols of wisdom and triumph. Today, that same leaf offers us another kind of victory, peace with our own reflection. When you stop fighting age and start understanding it, something beautiful happens. Your skin doesn't become flawless, it becomes alive. Lines remain, but they soften into stories. The glow that returns is not artificial light, it's health, harmony, balance. So tonight, when you stand by the bathroom mirror and the light catches your face just right, take a breath. Remember that inside that humble kitchen spice is a chemistry older than time, a green whisper that says, "You are still growing, still renewing, still radiant." If this story resonated with you, share it. Someone you love might need to hear that youth isn't lost. It's only sleeping. Wake it gently. And if you'd like to keep learning more natural, science-backed ways to care for your body and skin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, tap the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another discovery like this one. We read every comment. Tell us where you're watching from, how old you were when you first noticed those fine lines, or what natural remedies have worked for you. Your experience could inspire someone halfway across the world. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for believing that beauty doesn't come from bottles, but from balance. Sometimes, the most powerful skincare isn't invented in a lab. It's growing quietly on a branch, waiting for you to notice. The humble bay leaf, ancient, fragrant, and endlessly wise, was never just a seasoning. It was nature's love letter to your skin.